Hey everybody, welcome to Celebrating Success. Today we're going to be talking with my client Heidi and success that she's had. We always want to really focus on all the success that we do get when we're healing. We don't have to really be stuck on that end result where we're 100% perfect. We want to celebrate the successes as we go and really pat ourselves on the back, like really be proud of the achievements that we've made. So hi Heidi, thanks for joining me.
Hi.
All right. So why don't you tell me and everybody watching where you were? I think it was just over a year ago. We started in December of last year. So let everybody know where you were when we got started.
Well, I had a long laundry list of symptoms. Probably the worst of them were the brain fog and the fatigue, but there was a whole lot of other things that sort of piled all up together to cause me a lot of distress, I guess. And they ranged from things like numbness in my hands and fingers at times, anxiety, night sweats, some histamine kind of stuff like being stuffed up, dry skin, interstitial cystitis, um, buzzing sometimes in my body. So I sort of felt like a lot of my symptoms were related to either like food sensitivities, and also there was this whole layer of perimenopausal stuff, hormonal things as well. Um, so, I had night sweats a lot around my period. I basically only had like 1 week out of each cycle, which was short as it was, only 24 days, but about 7 days out of each cycle where I actually felt, somewhat normal, where I wasn't exhausted, really foggy, achy, a lot of muscle and joint kind of aches and that sort of thing.
And what was your diet like?
Uh, My diet was crazy strict. So I've actually had these health issues for about 8 years and saw a lot of different specialists, 4 different naturopaths, functional medicine doctor, osteopath, chiropractor, Chinese medicine, you name it, I saw them in my quest for better health. And along the way, I began a lot of different strict diets, trying to remove things from my diet that seemed to be problems. So one by one, I removed things like gluten and dairy and sugar. And then, some of those things seemed to work for a little while. Sometimes I thought that, okay, I took the caffeine out and I feel better. But after about a month or 6 weeks, the problems would always come back. So I just got more and more strict. I was so focused on the food piece of it, thinking that that was making a difference for me, that over time I did every diet that you can imagine. I started with paleo diet, and then I moved into a more strict autoimmune paleo diet because I felt like a lot of my symptoms were like autoimmune in nature. I had some friends with MS and lupus, and a lot of the symptoms that I had seemed very similar to theirs. So I was fearful that that's what it was. And I was trying all these different diets that were supposed to help those things. So yeah, I did a paleo diet, an autoimmune diet. By the time I met you, I was basically eating an autoimmune diet with even less things than they recommend, because there was other foods that I thought bothered me that were even on that list. So I was eating really like a lot of meat and vegetables and fat, no grains. Yeah, it's a pretty minimal, pretty boring, depressing diet.
Yeah, and that basically was my next question. How did you feel on that diet?
I felt horrible. But I guess I was controlling what I thought I could control, and I thought I was.
Mhm.
I mean, taking some of those foods out did at times seem to help with my brain fog. I think
Yeah.
in the end, looking back, the diets probably made my fatigue worse
Mhm.
over time. I don't think I was getting the energy that I needed from the limited diet that I had, and I think it was also contributing to like decreased mood because I wasn't happy about what I was eating. I didn't have any joy in my diet and my meals. And eating
Yeah.
out was extremely stressful. And it affected me socially. Like I was starting to limit the things that I did socially. I dreaded going to restaurants, and I dreaded, going away for the weekend with my kids on a hockey tournament, or a lot of different social things I started to avoid.
Yeah. What did, like, back at the time before we started working, like, what did your typical day look like?
I spent a lot of time cooking food, soaking chickpeas, soaking and sprouting, um, different legumes and things. It was very labor intensive on the food part. And then I'm trying to think. I was going to the gym a little bit at that point. But so basically I would, go to the gym, I would come home, I would eat, and then I would be very exhausted after I ate. So I would like spend a lot of time resting in the afternoons until it was time to pick up my kids from school, and then, go about our evening business.
Yeah. Um, so what happened, like, talk about the successes that we've had in the past year. I know we've taken some breaks in our coaching, especially over the summer. That's a busy time for you. But share that with us.
Well, right out of the gate, I was very fortunate to get some break with the brain fog once I started the digestive enzymes. I think at one point we were referring to them as my magic pills because really for me, I would eat and I would feel the brain fog coming on, and I would take the digestive enzymes and I could feel the brain fog melting away.
Mhm.
But besides that, with all of the mindset work that we did, you were also encouraging me at that same time to expand my diet and not focus on, taking things out of my diet, and focus more on happy, joyful eating. And so that was pretty exciting for a while. With my digestive enzymes, I was sort of like tackling all the foods that I hadn't eaten in such a long time. And I might have gotten a little bit carried away with that for a
Yeah,
while.
we all do.
Yeah. But enjoyed,
Oh, looks like we're
for hours
having.
afterward.
Can you just repeat that last little bit? We had a little bit of I don't know if everybody else saw it, but for me, we kind of just froze for a second.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, it just freed me really
Yeah.
from being on such a limited diet. I was now eating all kinds of exciting foods and taking the digestive enzymes, and having the confidence to know that I wasn't going to feel horrible for hours afterward. So the digestive enzymes were a huge hit for me. Like I felt like at that point, you and I had only been working together for like 3 weeks, and I had signed on for a year. And I sort of felt like it was all worth it right then. Just if nothing else got better after that, the digestive enzymes alone were enough for me to be very excited about.
Yeah, it's very expensive digestive enzymes, and what's funny is because most people don't have that response, but for you, and the way my program works is we start addressing everything. We're addressing digestion, we're addressing hormones and liver and adrenals and sex hormones and all of these things. So eventually, we're gonna figure it out. We
Right.
just keep working through it. And for you, it was somehow over all the years that you've been seeing these practitioners, they had never recommended that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first big win, I guess, that I had right out of the gate.
Mhm.
And then you know, like you said, I've had some taken things a little slower. I'm really
Yep.
react significantly to things. So for me, trying new supplements, sometimes I felt envious hearing that other people were getting them in faster or whatever. But for me, I've had to take some of the supplements slowly. And, I have 3 kids. So when they're off, like in the summer months, I had to basically I really wasn't, and taking on a lot of new supplements or doing a lot of new things. So we kind of got back on gear again in the
Yeah.
fall.
Well,
And
and it's understandable. You had been so restricted for so long. You finally got some relief that you just wanted to go out and have fun and live and enjoy life. And I know you went on some trips, you connected with family. We did a lot of mindset work during that time too. So there
yeah,
were other progresses being made besides going through with our protocols.
yeah, it's true. I think you're right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, So as far as so we did a lot of mindset work, and I think all of that stuff was really helpful as well. But as far as like the supplements and that kind of success, I just recently, in the last, well, I've had 3 or 4 cycles now, maybe, of my menstrual cycle where I've been taking some, doing some hormonal support and some progesterone drops. And it's been another big win for me in the sense that, as I said at the beginning, the 2 things that were most prominent for me were the fatigue and the brain fog. And I only had really 1 week out of my 24-day menstrual cycle so not even a week out of the month, 1 week out of every 24 days that I felt okay. And now between the digestive enzymes and the hormonal support and all of the other supplements,
And all the other stuff.
yeah, but I guess those are the 2 big ones that excited me the most. But the other things are making me feel better, and I don't have all the muscle aches anymore, and I don't have.
You seem to be paused again.
What's
Do that
that?
one again. You paused again.
Okay. Since the hormonal support, I've had my energy is come back pretty much, all of the time. I would say there's maybe, a day or 2 before my period now where I have, I'm a bit fatigued or whatever, but I just feel like I have the same level of energy that I had during my 1 good week, probably better than now for most of the time.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And you've really been, well, it just goes to show, like, working through all these systems to finally get to where we needed to be. And for you, it's been a very micro dose of hormonal support has made a really big impact. And not everybody's different, and realizing that not everybody's the same, everybody is different. And what works for some people isn't going to work for a lot. And it really, I think for you, it's what makes it really important just to show that sequencing and titration and starting low, because more isn't always better. And you've had huge success with smaller amounts of supplements than taking really high doses of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm only doing 2 drops of progesterone. And I'm still experimenting with that right now. So I haven't even taken them. I'm on like day 5 of my cycle right now, and I haven't even had any for 5 days, and I'm feeling fine. But we'll probably start up again for this cycle in another couple days and see how that goes.
Yeah, and just a reminder for everybody, anything you hear today is for educational purposes only. Talk to your doctor before making any changes to your diet and supplements or trying bioidentical hormones. And I'd really recommend getting a Dutch. And also that, Heidi responds differently to hormones, and I wouldn't normally recommend people doing hormones every day of the month, the progesterone every day of the month, but she's a different case. Everybody is a different case. So when I work with people, we're making these changes, these alterations, these course corrections to fit you as an individual. You definitely don't want to just hear what somebody is taking and try to go and mimic what they're doing, because what's right for one person might be totally wrong for another.
Well, yeah, and on the flip side of things, I'm that person that with all the other supplements, I take the tiniest amount and have the craziest side effects too. So
yeah, no, definitely. And I think in the beginning too, we went a little bit slower because there was that anxiety there around taking the supplements. And then this last protocol that you got on, the confidence has built up and you were able to go a lot faster, which is amazing.
Yeah, and maybe my body's also just more ready for some of that
Yes,
stuff.
yeah, totally. The more we work on the liver, especially, the easier we're able to handle a lot of things, especially like food and supplements themselves. They can cause a awful lot of detox, or some supplements just aren't right for everybody.
Well, and that's another improvement that I've noticed lately. Like sometimes I forget to take my digestive enzymes because I don't always need them all the time. I'm not really sure why, but my food reactions haven't been as severe lately.
Which is also awesome. Love that. Because I remember one time we were talking, we're like, you should just order like 100 of these, 100 bottles of these, just in case the company goes out of business.
I do keep a good stock on backhand. I have any given time 3 bottles at least extra.
There you go. Yeah, just be prepared always, right? But that's awesome. I am very grateful for you coming on and sharing your success story. And we do have more work to go onwards and forwards to gut work, fun stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. I mean, I feel like just in the past 12 months, I've made, well, a little bit more than 12 months, maybe about 14 months now. I've made more progress than I made in the 7 years prior to that. So it's
Oh,
been
thank
awesome.
you.
I'm so
It,
appreciative.
I thank you for that, and it's been such a fun journey with you too. And I love what I do. I definitely have the best job on the planet. All righty. So, if you guys are interested in coaching, you can go to www.motivatedtoheal.com and click on work with me. You can check out my packages there. I'm actually planning to go live for people watching live either tomorrow or Tuesday to talk about a genetic package that I'm going to be offering starting this week. So if you're interested in that, check that out. And all the links are going to be down below in the description. So thanks again, Heidi, for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, bye. Thank
Bye.
you.